Yeah, hello and good evening. We are in the first hangout of the COPE 14 MOOC. It's about reflection of week 1. And I want to say hello to Rupert. Hi, Rupert.
Hi, Utta.
And as you see, also Doris is already in the hangout, but at the moment she's a silent observer, and she will join the hangout actively, in half an hour or 3/4 of an hour. So, hi, Rupert.
Hi, Jutta. What do you think about the first week of our common MOOC?
I'm very satisfied with the first week because there are so many learners who are active learners and who write posts at the website of COPE 14. And for me, when I have a virtual group, it's a challenge to get to know the learners. And I wasn't sure if I will succeed with so many learners. And yeah, I didn't get to know you all, of course. But some who wrote 4 or 5 or 6 comments, I think I know a little bit. And there was some connection. And how is your impression, Rupert?
I think it's very nice to have so many around. It's really unexpected, actually, to have so much activity already at the beginning of the week with so many nice posts, many interesting stories, good amount of visitors on the different assignments, good exchange. So I think it's a very positive climate. Good to be here.
Erika speaks about the Facebook group and that there's a lot of interaction as well. And I'm moderating the Google Plus group. And here I think the interaction maybe is a little less vivid than in the Facebook group. But now, yeah, I think it changes and there's more of exchange as well. And I'm very, very proud that we have already some learners who are writing their own blogs, because I believe that to write a blog and to reflect your learning processes and to share your questions and also what you do not understand or where your difficulties lie with others in a blog is a very special approach, because you have more room to type than in a comment, and yeah, you do something for your online reputation as well. So on the COPE 14 website, on the menu item community, there you can find also the blog posts which are written around COPE 14. And Rupert, were you active in the Facebook and Google Plus group as well?
Actually not active. I was taking a look into both of them shortly, decided for myself that I prefer to have my main notes, my main contribution in the website. So that's where I mostly post my comments. And also there is already a lot of activity also on the website itself. Of course, from time to time, taking a look at what is going on in Facebook and what is going on in Google Plus is nice. But I decided not to post everywhere.
Okay. I invited the learners to post their questions also before our hangout, and there was one question where a learner would be interested to see a feedback and conclusion about week 1 and about the participants' anticipation. And Rupert, we discussed this question, and we think that our feedback to week 1, is a very satisfied one. And in my opinion, the week doesn't end now, because we will open week 2 this evening. But of course, there will be persons continuing to contribute in week 1 as well. And with regard to the participation, to the anticipations of the participants, I am impressed that so many learners are interested into the MOOC concept, and yeah, I love it that you are open to learn with others based on the principles of connectivism. Rupert, what do you think about this question of the participant?
I think we could see quite some good ideas about the expectations also on one side in the house rules in the assignment 1.3. So there was a lot of discussion how we should work together, how we should experience the MOOC together, a lot of ideas, many things based on mutual respect, on learning to listen to each other also in an online way, so to say, trying to respect the opinion of others, but also more or less demanding some activity, asking others to really actively contribute, not to just listen, which I think is a mixed approach or a mixed picture we have, because I think that it's also completely okay not to actively contribute, but to just sift through, to listen, to look at things, to read what you like, and to contribute whenever you want to or not to contribute at all. So I think expectations from participants are very different, which is nice in a MOOC that is mostly concerned also with differences of people in communication. So it's good to have so many different views. I liked it a lot. The discussion was very positive in the activity 1.3. And also, of course, in the introductions, we could see a lot about the differences of the different approaches, different perspectives people bring along, the different countries people are from, which I like very much. So hello to everyone from everywhere, from Russia, from Great Britain, from Bulgaria, from the US, from, don't take me wrong if I forget any countries. There are so many, and it's really nice to see that we have so many different perspectives along.
At the beginning, it was not so easy for the learners to organize themselves in a MOOC, and some wrote that they were confused, didn't know where to start, where to contribute. But now, in my impression, I have the feeling that more or less the MOOC is working for the learners, and in a MOOC nobody can see and read everything. And I think a MOOC is different for each person because we all have different approaches to deal with the MOOC. And therefore, it's okay if you skip assignments or if you skip some reading materials. Yeah, and I was very satisfied, or I liked a lot that one of the learners, Lisa, wrote her own blog post, how to deal with week 1.
That's a good one.
Yeah, sometimes I knew it from my teaching. It's easier when the students themselves explain how to do things than when we, a teacher, explain them how they should proceed. Yes, Rupert?
Also, I think that the approach has changed during a MOOC, you know? Like in the assignment about the ads at assignment 1.4, which is very nice, by the way, a lot of good ads to look at. You should really take a visit there and just click at a few of the links. There were many interesting contributions about very nice advertisements. I just think that at the beginning it was more about presenting the most nice advertisement that you have came across. Then over time it developed a bit in an exchange. Who can find the most emotional advertisement? And now we are slowly approaching a part of this assignment where it's more about which cultural dimensions do we actually find in those advertisements. And I'm sure that until the end of the MOOC there will be numerous other steps we are going through with this advertisement and others and other assignments, of course. So I think it evolves, it develops, it changes. It's never the same whenever you click at it and watch it, and that's what it should be. So I'm very happy about that.
I like the assignment 4 of week 1 a lot, and I found some videos which I like. Yeah. And I think I never watched so many videos in a few days before than in COPE 14. Yes, Rupert, there was another question from Sonia. Sonia asks us what we, the facilitators, moderators, and visiting speakers of COPE 14, what kind of experience with international group do we have? And maybe you want describe a little bit what your the experts around you, what your experiences are.
So for me, I'm part of the research and development team of the Institute for International Management here at FH JOANNEUM. So me personally, I'm around a lot. I have a few. I had just had over the 100th business trip just a while ago, inside 5 or 6 years since we have an electronic system counting all those. So I'm around in a lot of different countries, having a lot of different experiences, especially in project management, with different EU projects mostly. And also some of my colleagues are working in the project management area. Some others are international business experts, like Vito Bobek, who is teaching at different universities and has a vast experience in different business topics, especially in regional management topics. We have other guest speakers, which are actually coming from far away, like Raul, who is usually teaching in India in Billa Institute of Management, is also around a lot, and is a very, very well liked and nice colleague of us. I think somehow we are all a bit connected with this big interest for looking over the border, visiting other countries, working together over borders, trying to communicate with as many different people as we can. And this is, I think, a general positive attitude about intercultural communication in this group. And also a lot of different expertise concerning different fields we are coming from, with a bit of a focus perhaps on business, on economics. I'm a psychologist. We have completely different also fields of expertise, of course. And I think all in all, it's a good mix of expertise, of international and intercultural experience, of teaching experience, of project experience. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Maybe before I add some information about the international experience of Maya, Gudrun, and myself, I want to invite the participants who are listening and watching the YouTube stream. You can post your comments or questions at the website as comment or on Twitter. So if we speak about something and you want to know more, don't hesitate to write a comment. When I saw the motivations of the learners of COPE 14, yeah, I liked it to read that many of you like to travel and want to experience other cultures, other languages, and that's also for myself, yeah, a very big hobby. I like to travel abroad. I like to leave Europe. And I worked in Australia for some months, yeah, some years ago. And at the moment, I'm very focused at Argentina. I'm learning Spanish, and I like the country a lot. And with respect to work, we have European projects as well as Rupert. And here in the last project, we were together a group of Spanish-speaking people, Italian, then we Austrian, Greece people, and really we had a mixture of 5 languages being spoken at our project meetings, and it was it was incredible because we started in English and then we continued in Spanish, Italian, the Greece group in Greece, and sometimes we returned to English as well. My colleague and I, we started to speak in German. So it was really a nice type of communication. I never spoke so many languages on a day. And Maya, she will be facilitator in the 6th week, and she's Slovenian. So maybe some of you have seen the video when Maya explains the MOOC in Slovenian. And yeah, we attended together a Spanish course, and for me it's very impressive that Maya learns Spanish in German, being Slovenian. And she also is doing a lot of European projects around e-learning, around game-based learning, so she has a lot of experience. And Gudrun worked and lived in the US for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And also she has a lot of international connections and loves to work and exchange experiences in international teams. So I hope that's satisfactory for Sonia. And I think that Doris will explain her international approach later on. Rupert, did you want to add something? No.
To the international experience, I liked your story a lot because it just reminds me on different meetings I had myself. From time to time, even me now having had a 3.5-year project with the University of Pristina, I started to strangely feel to understand a bit of the Albanian that is talked there, even though I could of course not translate a single word myself. But after a while you start to develop a feeling what people might talk about, what is the rough content they are discussing. And it's nice to see that you really get acquainted also to languages that are so vastly different and to people you didn't know about just a few years ago and which you meet only once in a while, but still you start to understand them better. And I think this is one of the nice experiences all of us share who like to go abroad and to experience exactly that, you know, to be able to communicate over language borders, over cultural borders, over national borders.
Mm-hmm. There was a nice video about 3 boys from Australia and New Zealand.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that one.
But I have been in Australia, but I didn't recognize the dialect. So we tried to insert dialects in the MOOC as well. Our first teaser video was about the MOOC in Styrian, and Styrian is an Austrian dialect, and Austrian, yeah, is kind of German. So also we have a lot of experiences with dialects. And in the MOOC I learned to use Google Translate to translate words I cannot read because they are not in Latin signs. This also was a nice experience for myself. But Rupert, there was another. No, first I will check if there are questions from the learners. Okay, there are no questions but comments. A comment from one of the learners. She says, I agree with Rupert about the cool apps on Facebook. I hope to see many more during this MOOC. And then another comment from Herman, who writes, good job in the first week. It's really amazing how this is working. Greetings from sunny Florida. So not bad, huh? Hermann is in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I already commented to his introduction that I am pretty envious about where he is staying, because just looking at the picture, you know, of a beach and the white sand and the palm trees and the blue ocean, and comparing it to the view out of my window, yeah, it's automatic envy. But greetings.
Okay, but before the Hangout, there was another question for you, Rupert, from Sonja as well. She refers to Mr. Trompenard's video and his introduction in cultural differences, and he asks you if you know about any classifications of countries along these criteria.
Mr. Trompenard, of course, is a consultant, and as a consultant, he wants to make money. That's what consultancy services are also about, no? So he has a huge database, but I don't think that it is easily accessible for non-paying customers. But there is another one which is done by Mr. Hofstede, and Mr. Hofstede has a very nice website where you can easily enter different countries and compare them with each other. And as quite some of the dimensions of Mr. Trompenard are building upon the experience and the ideas also of Mr. Hofstede, even though I'm not 100% sure if you would agree that that's so said so easily, I think that you can get a good impression about country differences, about alongside cultural dimensions, using the website of Mr. Hofstede, which is easy to find if you just type Hirt, which is written like G-E-E-R-T, Hirt, Hofstede, into Google. You'll just end up at his page. So it's pretty easy to look around there. Also, Mr. Trompenard has a web page which is called DHT, Trompenard, Hampton Turner, the two people who built up the consulting company, Consulting. So DHT Consulting, and also there you can find a lot of resources and try to do some more research into Mr. Trompenard's theory. From time to time, there are also articles published in journals or on the web using, of course, like cultural comparisons alongside Mr. Trompenard's or Mr. Hofstede's dimensions. I don't know if that's a good answer, but the best one I can give in the moment.
Okay, and Rupert, I'm interested into in your week, or in the part of your week you have this linked these materials, but personally, how do you use these more theoretical approaches to your working and collaborating with international groups? Do they influence you? What have you learned, or what's the biggest step you did in dealing with international groups?
Of course, they influence you. If you are looking at those cultural theories from a professional point of view, and you are also teaching them, they of course also influence you in your daily business life. Some dimensions or some comparisons, some theories are better than others for practical application. Sometimes you end up having an experience or having experienced a small or bigger problem which didn't work out as nicely as you would have it liked to work. And then on reflection, you use also these cultural dimensions to perhaps get a hint on what could have gone wrong, because often in these cultural encounters you do not easily realize yourself while you are in what is actually going on around you. So of course it's not working if you are in a emotional discussion across intercultural barriers to say, oh, wait, make a break. I need to think about Mr. Hofstede's cultural dimensions. Give me some seconds. Now I can use this theory to explain to you what I'm thinking. But as soon as you can take a bit of a breath and you can lean back and you are thinking back, reflecting on what happened, you can, of course, relate to those dimensions and try to find if some of them could explain difficulties you just had. And if, of course, they can, you can also find or try to find better solutions on how to approach the issue in the future. And in that way, they are pretty useful also for communication. Sometimes they're also very useful for planning. No? If you know you go into a country you have never been before, and you are interacting with people there, it can make a lot of sense to beforehand take a look at the culture, see if you can find out something about cultural dimensions, and to look at your own cultural dimensions and see where is there a lot of difference. Where do I need to expect hugely different perceptions between me and the people I'm working together with, and then it can be also good for preparation. Actually, while you are communicating, there's no program, at least not with me, in the back of my head, which is just like displaying me the cultural dimensions I need to look at in the exact moment I'm talking. This is not working out for me.
Okay, thank you, Rupert. And there's a comment of Gudrun as well. Gudrun is the facilitator of week 5, which is about communication and negotiation. And she writes that there will be an assignment for exactly the question we now discuss. So it's perfect. I think the learners will have to deal with Hofstede again. Okay, so I'm looking if there are further questions. Seems there are no questions. So maybe I want to announce that we as the COPE14 team have questions for you learners, because now we are here in the Hangout and we are answering your questions. And we thought that we want to make a short questionnaire with 10 questions only after the end of week 1 to give you the possibility to give us some feedback. So maybe that we can include your feedback into the next weeks of COPE14. And it would be great if you can find the time to fill out the questionnaire. It's an online questionnaire, and I put it on the homepage of COPE14. Okay. Yeah, I think as there are no questions anymore, it seems that everybody now knows how to deal with the MOOC in his or her way. I will try to activate Doris. Doris, are you here? Can you hear me? And
Hi, Jutta. Hi, Rupert. Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Doris.
Doris, do you want first to introduce yourself a little bit? And there was the question about your international experiences and the experiences of your visiting speaker as well. And then please introduce week 2 to our learners.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you. Actually, I do not see you, but I'm happy to welcome you to the second week of the COPE14 MOOC. Well, I'm Doris Kiendl-Wendner. I am professor of international business law at FH JOANNEUM University of Applied Sciences, and also chair of the International Management Institute. As regards my international experience, actually many things come into my mind. First of all, I remember my time when I was a master's student at the European University Institute in Florence, and I was one of about 30 students in a very diverse cohort. We were all law students. I'm a lawyer, which is probably not surprising to you since I teach a legal subject. And there was actually one student from each European country, basically. And it was a very diverse and multicultural setting, and I remember very well the interaction that we had. And when we were supposed to define a certain concept, everybody came up with a different opinion, and that was really a milestone, I would say, in my personal development, because I discovered that there are so many approaches to law and to legal cultures. Then I have also lived 2 years in the US, in California, where I came across many, many nations and many, many different people. And now in my role as chairperson of the International Management Institute, I'm constantly in touch with over 60 partner universities worldwide. I've been teaching in many countries such as New Zealand, Australia, US, France, Finland, and so on. So I realized that actually intercultural communication is essential, and my international experience has really enriched my life, and I'm happy that so many learners decided to join the COP14 MOOC, because I'm deeply convinced that this is really what matters a lot in our daily life for everybody. So welcome to this MOOC also from my side. And I would also like to very briefly, as Jutta suggested, introduce the expert who is going to be involved in the second week. Mr. Veit Oelberger is an attorney at law in Vienna. I had the chance to interview Mr. Oelberger on the Chinese legal culture. This evening we are going to open the second week, and in this week you're going to be able to see a video where I have been talking to Mr. Oelberger. Mr. Oelberger has been consulting companies and individuals who are doing business in China for many, many years. So he's a real expert in the field. And since he's both a lawyer and also an educated expert on Chinese language and Chinese history and culture, he knows a lot about this country, and he's going to share his experience and his knowledge with us. What else is going to be happening in the second week? We have uploaded a couple of materials for you, some relevant web pages we have been pointing to, and you're going to be expected to work on 2 assignments. The first of them will be a rather general one. I'm aware of the fact when I meet people who are not lawyers, many non-lawyers believe that law is kind of a strange subject and a boring subject. I'm passionate about it, and so I also want to share this passion with you, and I will try to also get in touch with you and discuss actually aspects of law in the daily life of all of us, yeah? And especially now that Rupert has introduced you together with Jutta and Erika to cultural dimensions, I hope that you will be able to see also the impact of culture on the application of the law. Imagine, for example, how a legal norm is applied, how the police would, for instance, somehow act if they catch somebody who has violated the law. The police might act differently in country A and in country B. Yeah? You have certainly discussed issues of power distance, issues of hierarchies, of uncertainty avoidance, and so on in the first week. And all these aspects play a crucial role also in the question of how a certain society would deal with a legal question, yeah? And would either stick to the law or try to circumvent it, try to get around it, if people would closely follow legal norms, if they will feel attached to it, or whether they find very proper ways to get around it. Yeah? Corruption is one of the tasks or one of the actually issues connected to it, and very many other things. So I strongly believe that each social group and each population in a country has its own way on how to deal with legal norms. And I invite you in the first assignment to share your experience from your daily life. Actually, each of us is permanently exposed to legal issues, such as when you drive your car or you book a vacation. Yeah? It all comes within a certain legal framework. And that illustrates that you can never avoid exposure to legal norms. And then it may matter a lot whether you book your journey in a country like Austria or you book your journey in a country like Mexico or Namibia or Thailand or China or whatsoever. Yeah? So Jutta mentioned that many of you love to travel. I do as well. And for example, when you travel, you might encounter also different legal norms, and that may play a role. And then in the second assignment, you're supposed to closely watch the video on the Chinese legal culture and on the opportunities and threats that come with doing business in China or acting in China. And then you're supposed to compare what we will tell you about the Chinese law with the legal system of other countries. So this is basically what's going to happen in the second week, and I'm really looking forward to your contributions. Sorry if I have talked too long now.
Yeah, thank you, Doris. I'm very curious of your week, and I hope that also our learners are curious. And so we are more or less at the end of our hangout, but there arrived 2 more questions. And one question was about our questionnaire, where I invited you to write your comments into it. The question was if we will share the results of the questionnaire. And our approach in the MOOC is an open one, and this open approach we will use also with the questionnaire, and of course we will share the results with the learners, because they should also observe us in maybe changing some aspects of the MOOC if it is needed. And then there is a last question, a technical question, because you see that in the comments many of you have these strange profile pictures, and how can you change them? And there's an Rupert, you have this strange picture as well.
I even commented on them because I really found them to be, some of them are really weird, you know, like in really weird, like having a square face with one eye crossed out and some sticker over the mouth, you know, and it's simply not really fitting to what you want to say. So it sometimes they really look like they want to say, come on, shut up. And this is exactly the opposite of what we want them to do. So some of these are really weird.
So of course, in the FAQ, you can find a description how to change them. And unfortunately, you have to make an account for WordPress, and then you can upload your picture there to have it here as well. But it's not, for me it didn't work very easily. I tried it 3 times and then it worked. I don't know why it needed three times, so maybe you learners have to invest a little bit of time to get the picture at the comments, but I believe that it's important that there are nicer pictures. And it's similar suggestion I did in Google+, because here we have now about more than 30 learners, and 4 of them don't have a picture. And it's easier to communicate when you have some picture. Yes, and here arrived another comment. A question for the next Hangout. Will we all agree on a list of rules for the comments? I don't really understand what this question is about. Maybe, Rupert, do you have an idea?
I think it will most probably refer to the assignment 1.3, where we were talking about house rules. And the question now is, now that we discussed them for a week, will we have like a fixed set of rules that we want to apply?
Mm-hmm. And what do you plan?
I think we could like do in one of the next posts on the home page, we could like propose a set of rules that we exert somehow from this exercise, but I wouldn't like put it as the last final eternal statement about that, because elsewise we also would need to close the assignment, which wouldn't be very fair to those who hadn't had the possibility to comment on it by now. So perhaps do a wrap up of what was said, but not to make a fixed set of rules out of them by now.
I remember the blog post of Lisa where she wrote for her as house rule. She doesn't like rules so much, but she thinks one important house rule is to do not hurt anybody. And I think we probably can agree all to this rule. Okay, so there are no questions left. Then I will say a good evening to everybody. Thank you to Doris and Rupert.
Thank you.
And we'll write and read at the website, in Google+, in Facebook. Bye-bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.